Hi, welcome back. Been a little while. Just started what I thought was my stream, and it actually wasn't. They keep changing around my layout, and I haven't done this in like 200 plus days. Bean is here. He's torturing me as usual, so he's going to be trying to sit on my lap while I'm working on stuff here. But we'll work around him. Anyway, here so that you can see His Grace and Majesty. Just started. Oh boy. What I thought was my stream, and it actually. Okay, yeah, pause that. We're gonna get feedback. Cool. All right. So what we're gonna be doing today is hopefully we're gonna be troubleshooting some broken devices that I've had. So this particular device and also this particular device have never worked properly since I bought them. Probably should have returned them, but they were kind of like I wasn't sure if it was user error or what the deal was. But this one periodically and like increasingly regularly has been just whenever I especially try to kick it up to the second power mode is like making a really weird noise. Let me I need to close this out 1 second. How am I even gonna do it? I don't even know how to close that app. There we go. All right. So this is to be a little bit more specific. This is a heat gun that's more like it's like a fancy hair dryer. I don't know if you can desolder things with this. You probably technically could, just based on the wattage and if you just got the right tip for it. But in the way that it's in the current state of it, it's not going to do that because it's just not working properly. And I think that it's like you don't really want to do that because you can't reliably know exactly what temperature you're discharging. It just has like a really like rudimentary knob on the back. So like you could easily fry your chips if you're not putting like a known amount of heat into them, and then like yeah, it might work sometimes, but then other times you might dump too much in and it'll cook it. So then we're also gonna. It's ironic, but they're both like heat related gun type thingies. This is a gun soldering iron, and ever since I bought it, the trigger has been like finicky. Hasn't really seemed like it's wanted to kick on. Seems like a really simple device, so it's just a coil, and like it seems like something's wrong with the trigger, so that's the only fancy part about it. And hopefully it's something pretty obvious and simple, and I can just unscrew it and solder something that's a bad connection or whatever. So we got that. I got a couple disposable vapes. I want to just highlight how to pull them apart and like literally anyone, it's a better idea to rip the battery out rather than just put it in a landfill somewhere. And that's what we're currently doing. So we're, the disposable vapes are nice. I get it. People like them, whatever. But, just the fact that we have a disposable vape that has a perfectly good rechargeable lithium-ion cell and we're tossing it in the garbage is, kind of garbage. What else have I got? That's really it. Oh yeah, no. So I also wanted to highlight the repair of this LED light strip that I'm doing for a buddy of mine, and just show you like what to look for, what can go wrong, and then if you have a little bit of skill and the tools, then you can fix it yourself in the future. And I might actually design a proper like clasp / mount / like support for the specific solder connection that seems like it's going to tend to break in the future, possibly even, unless I do something to brace it and protect it. So probably design that in Fusion, which is a really simple thing. I already designed one thing, but I'm not really thrilled about how it came out. I think I can do a little bit better and make it a little bit more robust. So we'll do that. And then actually, all right, Bean, you're going to have to get down. Where I want to start now is with this Purifier that I have sitting over here. So we're going to switch over to my bench cam, and I'll show you what's going on with this thing. So actually, I was going to figure this out, hopefully in real time too, but I needed this thing working, so I figured it out ahead of time. But here's the deal. So you might get one of these, this membrane solution. This was actually a gift, but you might buy one, and then it works great, and then it'll have the this filter light on it here, and you'll have to reset it when it's just a timer basically. So it'll say, okay, we've run at this CFM cubic feet per minute for this amount of time, so the filter is likely shot, and then it'll tell you that. And you reset like a filter on your fridge the same way. Oh wait, I'm backwards here. Let me see. How should I go here? That's much better. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, so like, it'll say here, it actually says on the inside of the door, like what the steps are, and it'll tell you, oh yeah, scan here and you can get these new filters. But you may be gifted or, buy filters that say that they're compatible or should be compatible or the same size, the same specs and everything. And like what you'll find is that, look at, I mean, this is a technically after factory filter, but it looks exactly like the one that came in it. It's got like the same hexagonal pattern and everything, same color, and same, obviously the same dimensions because it fits in here. But what you'll find is, here, I'll turn it off, pull it out, and you'll see it. It's legit. It's hefty. It's got the charcoal filter on the incoming side, or the outgoing side actually. And but what you'll see is, and here's the secret, what the factory filters will have, but the other ones won't, that you'll buy, if they're not the exact ones that you buy directly from the proprietary guys, is a little neodymium magnet on either side. So if you buy a filter and you put it in and you try to turn on your machine and you see, like, look at, like right now, if I press power on it, it will power up. But if I turn it off and then I disturb this magnet here, first of all, you hear it beep. Okay, so now that it beeped twice, it will just not respond at all. It just seems like it's almost totally dead. But if you unplug it and replug it, let me aim this a little bit further over here too. You have somewhat of an idea of what I'm doing. So I just have an outlet here, down here, and so if you plug it in, you'll hear it beep twice. So you know that it isn't like totally toast, but you're just like, what gives? And like, you can't find like a switch or a contact or anything. And like, it says on the door that if you don't put the filter in exactly correctly, if it isn't tight and the door isn't on proper, then it won't turn on. But what the real secret is this little magnet. And the idea is there's just that they're trying to prevent people from putting filters into their machine that aren't sold by them. And they're just trying to rope you in. So now if you listen, if the machine is plugged in, it still won't turn on. But if you put this magnet here, you'll hear it beep. Okay, so now it'll turn on. Now it's a little finicky. Ideally, in a perfect world, you could just tape it in one spot and it would never, move, and that would be that. But it has shifted on me. So anyway, I'm using old cruddy Scotch tape. Yeah, but there you go. So if that ever happens to you, this membrane solution air purifier, that's how you fix it. Okay. This back on here. All right, next up. Now I don't know how this is gonna go. We're gonna see. I think I'm gonna start with this fancy hair dryer because this has been the most frustrating thing that doesn't work that I really need. So we're gonna go with that first. Oh boy, okay, this might be a little trickier than I thought. Should have known. Alright, I'm going to need the proper head diameter screwdriver, and I should actually have a set here. Let me see, 1 second. Probably isn't good. Oh, does that actually grab? Wow, yeah, I got lucky. Okay. Cool. This is just a screwdriver that I think actually came with a CPU cooler that I had laying over there. But it happens to be perfect, so. Hopefully the video and audio quality isn't total garbage. We'll see. It's always been pretty good with this mic that I have here, though. Even when I'm not looking at it or like directly talking away from it, even. Try to get more in the shot here. I'm like constantly doing a sanity check, just making sure that like my software isn't pooping out on me. Yeah, this has been especially frustrating that this thing doesn't work. Although, its usefulness is kind of limited because for things like desoldering and whatnot, you want a finer tune control. Okay, well, how many screws are left? Technically left in here. We got two that don't want to come out of the hole, but I don't think they're really threaded anymore. Alright, I'm kind of like bear hugging this thing when I'm trying to figure this out, but you can kind of see I'm starting to figure out how this goes. So I just took all these screws out of here. Seems like this nose wants to come off front ways, but I'm not positive. Let's see. Oh, okay, well, alright. So that kind of just, you can kind of slippity-doo-dah that in there. So we've got this. Let's see here. This is always a little disorienting. Pretty neat. Alright, nothing looks obviously charred or anything. This seems like it's like it's something mechanical primarily, because the electronics seem to be working. It's just the something's like jostling and jangling around in there. Come on. Come on, you bugger. There we go. Oh, feels like it would. Okay. Yeah, so that needed a little bit more elbow grease. So the front comes off, then the side panel. And this is what we're dealing with on the inside. Now let me get a good look at this bad boy. I'm getting increasingly concerned because all of this looks nice and tidy and correct. It looks like something's amiss in the tube, which is not really ideal, because that's pretty much the most buttoned up part of this. Surprise, surprise. Alright. Just to show you that I'm not a liar, we're going to try this. I'll show you what happens. Whenever you do something like this, if you do something like this, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it, but just be careful. You know, capacitors are always the most dangerous thing. I haven't run this thing in a long time, so the chances that any capacitor even would be charged is kind of minimal, because usually there's always some parasitic component on the board, but you never know. But anyway, just be careful. Okay. It's very weird. I don't understand it. Like something sounds wrong. There's like something jostling around, but like it's these weird resonances. So then this is full blast. Yeah. Something goes very wrong. What was that? I think I just tripped my UPS actually with it. That's what's going on. Okay. Well, so it'll trip my UPS also. How hot did this thing get? Okay, it got quite hot just in that little bit of time, and seems like something's like expanding. There's like something not lubricated once it gets hot, and then it binds up, and then it's essentially like shorting. It's no bueno. We gotta, I guess we gotta pull this whole tube apart if we want to actually fix this. Well, first things first, I'm gonna let it cool down so I don't hurt myself. So we're gonna unplug this. Now we're gonna go move on to this one. I have a little bit more confidence that we'll be able to figure this one out, just because of how it's acting, but we'll see. Alright, what kind of bolts we got on this bad boy? We actually want this. That's all the body screws. Interesting. Okay. Wow. Look at that. That looks like crap. Honestly, that looks terrible. Wow. Okay, well. Anyway, that just looks very off-putting to me. So I don't know what the deal is with this. I guess that's kosher, but it sure looks like it shouldn't be. And like especially how they're running this wire so tightly underneath this well, yeah, this coil wire underneath this shielded, this covered wire. Really don't appreciate that. I don't know if this giant burn mark in this is also a problem. I don't know if that's factory. Alright. So what I discovered, what I've at least started to think, is that it seems like it's a trigger issue. But we're going to see here in a second. Now, frankly, by the number of windings in this, oops, wasn't showing you what I was doing. So something like this is actually fairly dangerous, okay, because of how many wraps they have on this. Anytime you see, like, well, what do they call this? They call it winding wire, pretty much, and it comes in different gauges. But whenever you have coils, when you have a coil like this, that's when you want to be cautious. That's why microwaves are especially dangerous, because of their, I believe it's the secondary coil. Yeah, be cautious, because what it's doing is it's stepping up the voltage. I want to be very careful when I mess with this. What the hell is that? That looks horrible. Why the hell? Oh, whatever. I wasn't doing anything bad, but you never want a wire sticking out like that. It's surprising that they use a wire nut in here, but I guess it's not that surprising. I don't like how I need to, like, hold this button like this to trigger it. So, yeah, I want these tiny little furniture clamps over here. Furniture for elves. Look at it, isn't it cute? Is a clamp good enough? I don't know. Let's go another clamp. More clamps. On top of this. Tweezers. Don't get too excited here. Gotta be careful. The center of this thing. On the soldering joints. Okay. Alright, that shouldn't affect any of the actual functionality of it. Let's see what this does. Last time it was pretty obvious when it was malfunctioning. Seems like this. It seems like the trigger is just not good. I don't know. I mean, you hear it like cutting out. Let's see if it's actually hot enough to melt any solder, because before it wasn't even really getting hot. See, it doesn't even seem like it's getting hot. Make sure I don't electrocute myself. You see, this should be absolutely demolishing this solder. This is like a surface mount level solder in the in the gauge of it, whereas this should be able to melt like 3mm solder. I don't know. I feel like this giant burn mark looks a hell of a lot like a spot weld. I think that's just like to hold it all together. I don't think that's relevant. I think that's just working as a like a ferrous core to concentrate the energy. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, here, let me try tightening these screws. That's the only thing I can really think of. But I feel like I tried that last time. The actual ones on the end, because maybe it's triggering, but it's not actually getting a good enough connection to the tip to transfer anything. I don't know. Let's try it. Too big. I feel like I'm going to be between sizes here. It's too big, but it's kind of turning it. Just not really. How about this one? It's pretty damn tight. Maybe that was all it was, because that actually sounds correct now. You hear it, it actually kind of sounds like a mini microwave. See the tip? Yeah, okay. Well, maybe that was the whole problem the whole time. Maybe these are just getting gunked up and I wasn't making a good connection. Well, that's embarrassing. Oh well. Well, it seems like I don't know. Maybe it has like a failsafe in it, and like if it senses that there's a bad connection at the tip, a bad enough one anyway, it's like cutting out, and that's why it's giving me like that weird finicky business. Because that sounds correct now. Okay, well, hey, crisis averted. Button it back up and call it a day, I guess. And maybe I'll, although it's hot now, maybe I'll switch back over to the other one, try to open up that insides, and then come back to this and take these fully off and really clean them up, make sure that they're actually clean. Maybe I should just leave this for a second. It's very hot. Okay. This is simple enough. Let me show you this. Okay, make sure I get this in the shot. So you could just take pretty much any pliers find grabbing the mouthpiece is the best. Just giving a little pull. It's just press fit. Pretty much, the construction of all of them is pretty much the same. You'll see here. Honestly, I can put my fingernails right under the bottom and pull out the bottom. The bottom is where you really want to get to, but it's easier, you know, if you just pull off the mouthpiece with the pliers and then you can push it. Although I just did it the opposite way. But you'll see the construction is pretty simple. It's just a silicone top. It's like a sponge wick inside of here, and then this little cell, and these cells are rechargeable. It's, you know, it's got the whole kit and caboodle here. They actually work off of a microphone. It's amazing how many different applications I've seen microphones being used in now, but they use it as a pressure switch basically, because if you think about it, all that sound really is fluctuations in sound pressure and air pressure really. So by using a ubiquitous mic, if you just use clever software, you can discern like that you have flow, you know, via someone sucking on the vape, and then turn it on, and they've gotten it pretty streamlined now. Anyway, what I think I want to do is I think I want to, like, once I harvest enough of these, is make some kind of an RC vehicle, whether it's like a drone, like some, well, I mean, drone is kind of ubiquitous. Like I could make a water drone or an RC car or an RC plane. I think an RC plane or an RC boat would be pretty neat. Although I just managed to print like my own effective TPU belts, which is pretty neat. And I'd like to, like, I've seen people do like tank treads, maybe like a tank, you know, with internal belt gearing system and stuff would be pretty neat. Anyway. Okay, so this wire just broke off of there, but anyway, I want to do that. So when you do something like this, just give yourself the wire on both sides. I don't know. You probably never use this end again, but simple as that. So it even has leads on it, which is kind of cool, you know. I mean, Tim and I built a spot welder so that we can actually spot weld directly to like bare heads of these, but you know, these even have leads, so if you, especially for like little hobby projects, they're perfect, you know. Because like one issue you'll run into is that you can buy straight cells, but they don't, like, you're not technically supposed to solder them because it damages the cell, and you're really supposed to spot weld to them, so you need like a specific tool. And yeah, you can see like what I'm talking about. So that even on this, like from the factory, they there's a piece of nickel that's spot welded onto it, and then they snake that nickel out, and then they solder the wire onto that, because you can't solder directly to the battery. At least you're not supposed to. Smells like mango now. Okay, this one, look at. I think I'm gonna be able to just get this with my hands. So I have some nails right now. Just stick your nails in the bottom here. Pop. Easy as that. Whole thing comes out. There you go. 2 perfectly good lithium-ion cells saved from the landfill now. I bet you in the future, landfill reclamation or whatever is going to be a big business, where you go in and filter out all the lithium in the landfills. How funny will that be? How stupid will we all feel throwing it all away? Okay, this is probably cooled off enough now. Yeah, it's handleable at least. I'm definitely gonna have to tinkle here. It's almost tinkle time. How does this work? Where is this supposed to go? Oh, okay. It's a ball. We're having a ball. we're having a ball. Here, let me actually show you what I'm doing, rather than just talking to myself. Just trying to fit this stupid thing back in here. I've never seen this. I mean, I guess it's just to hold the... It's like a... it's a wire slack. Okay, that's it. That should be it. Cool. Well, sometimes that happens. You know, I'd rather it be something simple that I'm just overlooking than it actually being broken, so. Which I feel, frankly, I feel like is probably going to be the case with this freaking hair dryer. Oh boy, I didn't even pay attention if these were all the same size. Looked like they were. Getting hot. Alright, make sure I just didn't break it. Sounds great. Looks like it's gonna smoke. Oh yeah, it's smoking. Okay, cool. Alright, this guy's back on the chopping block. No longer scalding hot. Let's see how easily we can actually get this thing apart. Okay. I'll try to tell you my reasoning as I'm looking at this thing, rather than just doing it. Okay. So, I see here, probably isn't going to focus for me, but there's screws, there's threads coming out this way. But I can't get to it from this side, you know, because the threads are this way. So that tells me that it needs to come apart the opposite direction, fortunately and unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is I'll take it out, I'll take these screws out, and then honestly it looks like the whole thing should really be free, from what I can tell. That looks like a loose screw. Here. Holy shit. There's a loose screw. I don't think that was from pulling this apart, because these are different screws. Interesting. Alright. It was one of these screws. Maybe some shoddy quality control. Oh, baby. Yeah, came right apart. Okay, cool. Let's see. Wow. Interesting. Okay. So this feels relatively smooth. Doesn't seem like this is broken. It's not cogging. this. Okay. So the issue is definitely in here. Let's see if you can get a good look at this. Pretty neat. Look at this. Oh, I don't think I have a light now down here. That's okay. You can see it pretty good inside of there. Let's see if I can figure out what is actually happening. Okay. Well, you can clearly see that there's heating coils inside of there. Now, what's weird to me is that it seems like it's related to the spinning, like itself, but there's nothing that seems like it would be obstructing it, and there's nothing that actually spins inside of this tube. So I don't... a little confused. Let's see here. How should I do this? I don't want to melt anything. I want to run it, but I don't want to melt it. So I guess... Back in its holster. Now I think that it's got to have some kind of thermostatic control, you would think, but I'm not sure, just based on this. I don't know. Alright, let's plug it in anyway. It doesn't look like there's anything terribly dangerous other than 120 volts. Okay. So what the issue is definitely just that this is crappy. So like here, let me see if I can actually get it in the shot. Just from the factory, it seems like this is garbagey. You can hear it rattling first of all, and that's rattling against the heating element. And if you look at it, it's got quite a bit of vibration in it. Whoa, getting hot. Whoa, hot, hot, hot. It might not be thermostatically controlled, in which case it's waiting for it to actually like cool it down with the fan. So I got to be careful. That's probably what just started to happen. It's okay. What isn't okay is this fan wobbling like that and making such a ruckus. See, it just slips right off. Look at that. That's amazing. Definitely smoked once too. I remember that. I think that because the fan just will stop. Maybe it sucked. It might have sucked up that screw though. Until I get this back configured here. Be careful. These are gross. They're all sticky from tape. Cool. Alright, let's see here. I'm not sure if this is going to pinch this way. First. Does that seem correct? Because the dial fell out. Damn it. Come on. Why don't you want to go? What are we hitting? Hitting something. Feels like, anyway. Very tricky. Oh wait, did that just go now? That was it. Yep, that's it. Okay. Oh wait, did I remember? I think I forgot some screws here. Oh yes, critical. What am I missing here? Oh, okay. Yeah, I have it in wrong. This needs to twist fully in here. Like this. Dingus. I almost forgot that it needed to, I think there might have just been a loose screw in there. We had a screw loose. Tale as old as time. There really literally was an extra screw in here, so I don't know. I mean, that was all it was. It was jostling around in there, and I freed it. Let's look on the. Let's be optimistic. Oh, that bugger's still hot. There you go. You're not going nowhere now. Well, I guess I can run it now. Let's try it. Let's try it. Very weird. I think it's just a terrible design. Frankly, nothing's burned up. Wow. Interesting. Well, I don't know. I'll close it back up. It's pretty much ready, and see if I can get any usefulness out of it at all. That screw stayed in there. Well, not super thrilled with that, but it is what it is. Is there anything else I was planning on doing for this? I don't really think so. Oh yeah, the LED strip sitting right in front of me. Okay. Yeah, I keep slipping my mind because I feel like I already fixed it because I did. There was like I looked at it and just optically I could tell that one of them was bad, and it was about in the spot where it seemed like the whole rest of the strip wasn't working. So I figured it was just one bad one, but when I hooked it back up, they were pretty much all bad. So I'll show you what to look for with that. Feels like I just twisted a wire in there. No, I'm just gonna screw. Just kidding. Right here. Nice. Huh, wonder what that was for. Oh well. Okay. Now I'll show you this light strip. Come on. Okay. Since I already know I gotta solder for this, heat up my station. I'll try to show you with some fancy camera work what the deal is with this. Okay. Is this reset or not? What are we doing here? There we go. Okay. So these are the culprit. You see this? I guess maybe with the camera we can actually zoom in and you see that? You can actually tell with the camera that they're broken. And if I look now with my eyes, I can tell that they are broken also. So whether they broke just from me moving this around trying to get at the other ones or what the deal is, I'm not really sure. But either way, it needs to be fixed. So I'll show you how I go about that. Let's see here. I think I'll use this little guy. These little tiny retractable X-Acto knives are pretty nice. I guess I'll also show you like how it's behaving before I repair it. You can see that it's fixed. Knives are pretty much the most dangerous tool in the shop, so just always be careful. Utility knives and X-Acto knives. So, made myself a little cutout here. soldering iron is heated up. But before I do that, let's just show you this. So, when we plug this in, you should see some kind of light here. What happened here? Well, I was getting something before. I think if my thing got unplugged or something here. What's going on? There we go. Okay. I'm not sure what the deal was. So, anyway, okay, sure enough. So I had just repaired the one further up the line, but this one where I just made the cut, it's dead right there. So if I fiddle with this, I might be able to get it to come back, but I'm not going to even bother. I know it's broken, so I'm going to just go in here and solder it. It's pretty accessible. Just going to weigh it down on either side. It's something, doesn't really matter what. Don't shift around on me. What I'll do, inject some, get this back on here. Trying to get this in the shot here. What the hell? What am I looking at? I'm looking at the wrong part. Now my stuff is sticking to my thing. Boo. Getting all confused. Okay, here we go. Alright, so inject a little bit of flux into here. Solder tip has seen better days. Should be fine though, cleaned up nice. Camera's definitely in my way a little bit. I'll survive. I think I need to actually hold this down with tweezers as I do this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna beef up one side, and then I'm gonna basically hold the tweezers in my solder hand, and then push it down and reflow it. So I've got a bunch built up there now. Boom. Nice. Okay. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay. So if we zoom in on this, probably looks pretty good. Oh yeah. For the most part. Let me not a huge fan of this closest one here. How's it look now? Still not too great to me. Here it goes. Now it's just some flux sitting on top, some poo on top there. Okay. So I bet you we fixed that one. We can easily check that. Just plug her in. Now if we were doing fancier stuff, then I would recommend cleaning the flux off, because apparently it does have some conductivity, but this really isn't relevant for this. Okay. And now actually the whole thing is lighting up except for the end. It's goofed, so only green is lighting up. But I am gonna, you know, inspect and check and reflow all these connections quick. Now, what I have been doing is doing some hot glue on these to beef them up and you know, cover up the connections. Not super thrilled with how this one came out, but whatever. I'll try to compensate and do it the right way this time. Really like these portable hot glue guns. I pulled this apart and I was expecting to like really be upset with the battery in it, but the ion cell in it is pretty nice, and it's about as efficient as it could be because it's just 118/650 in here. The capacity isn't great, but what do you expect? I don't know. I should probably do a parallel setup in it and double the capacity, but you know, then I'd have to modify the case and everything, and just wasn't ready to go that far yet. Okay, green means go. It's probably a little excessive, but oh well. I want to go like this a little bit because it tends to want to bend the opposite direction. Hot glue, super underrated. Not great for everything, but great for a lot of stuff. Okay, that's pretty happy with that. Move on to the next one. I think I might actually go backwards here just to make sure that I got any upstream. See, that looks pretty terrible, even though it's technically working right now. Alright, I need to tinkle real quick. I'm gonna be right back. Whew, much better. Okay. Alright, same procedure. Simple as go in here. Same deal. Carefully don't cut all the way through the whole damn strip, which I could definitely see myself doing. See if this one even looks obvious at all, or if it's pretty... Probably doesn't, because I looked at them all and I thought that they would be fine, but apparently not. See, that one looks okay, and it is functioning, but I hate how they did it in general, because it seems like it's just like already bent, so it just wants to bend more. So what we're gonna do, don't let this fall over. What's happening here? Good enough. Actually, well, you guys probably want to actually see the soldering. It's kind of the most exciting part. So. I think I'm gonna glob it on the opposite side this time so that the solder wants to go down. So we'll see. This is loosening up on me. That one looks good. Heat up the hot glue gun. You see. So, where did they go? So these were the mounts that I printed already, that I designed. And the idea is just that they would be sitting underneath the couch, and then this would go over top of it and screw into the bottom of the couch. But now I'm thinking, like, maybe I'll make it so that it is also on there when it's not even, actually mounted, so I don't have to worry about sandwiching it. And then it'll have extra screw holes, but then it'll actually give it support also. And I'm kind of like limited on real estate because the LED is right here, so I can't, right there, all three of these are. So I can't go that far, but I still want to be able to brace this connection so it doesn't bend and break again. beautiful. Hold this a little bit of a compensatory position. Alright. Hardening up well. Nice. Okay. There is actually another one. There's quite a few of these on this length. God, man, they made a lot of splices on this. Kind of messed up. They didn't do a better job. One of these already looks broken. The main voltage, which, you know, slightly important. Yeah. Gooper up. Gooper up first. Probably should have tested that other one, but either way, it's going to be better than what it was. Getting a little bit more comfortable with this now. Not having to be as tedious about it. Tip. That nibbler. Is that my dork? Are you requesting tweets, Mr. Nibbler? Okay. I'm not going to go too crazy with the camera work here. A little bit more on this joint here. There. Nice. Look at it. Look at it. Okay. Let's see here. Sanity check. Looking beautiful. Looking swell. Hopefully the battery on this thing doesn't die. I gotta do a few more here. And we wait patiently for the hot glue gun to heat up. Probably good enough. Okay. What I'm trying to do is hold it in the opposite direction of how it wants to bend to break the solder connections when it's drying, so that it will hopefully be less likely to allow it to bend that way. Oops. Sorry. Just blowing on it because I'm impatient. Just put my fingerprint on it because I'm impatient. Okay, good. One more in this direction. Boom. Getting better at that. Right. Got a flux with it. I actually like putting it on the lower part. For whatever reason, it seems to work a bit better. Okay, should be beautiful. Should be beautiful. Looks good. It's cool. This phone can actually magnify better than I can see with my eyes for the most part. Pretty neat. Okay. Make this bad boy up again. deal. Pull it up, let it cool. This has been pretty fun. So maybe I'll do this again soon. Got lots of projects I'm working on. Just, you know, the documenting and recording it is a little bit more of an effort. But we'll see. Ooh, maybe I'll get fancy. Here, we'll use my fancy blower. There you go. Pretty much instant cures it, huh? Look at that. Now we're going the opposite direction. That was the last one. So here, all repaired. Here. And then this was a junction. I'm not thrilled about how this is working or connected, but it hasn't failed yet. I don't know. Not thrilled about it. Not thrilled about it. It is what it is. Scooch it down. Leave it be for now. If I put one of these protectors on it that I'm theorizing, then it should whoopsie. It should not be a problem. Okay, so how many we got here left? Literally, wow. I can see that where the dog literally did chew on this, didn't he? Okay, looks like we got 2 left to fix. This is frustrating. So much of soldering and welding is just getting things like situated properly so that you can actually get in the right position. Okay. Here's the flux. Let's flux it up. This one looks pretty good, actually. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give it a little love anyway. Pretty good. I got a stringer. Alright, super blast. If you ever use, like, if you ever buy cans of air duster or whatever, just get one of those, one of these things. They're great. You know, it's not quite as powerful maybe as like a fresh air can, but it's pretty damn close, and it will do 90% of what you need at least. Okay, one more. Okay. This one looks pretty good too. But we're going to do it anyway. Yeah, this one definitely looks extraneous, but I'm just going to reflow them out quick. Okay. I think that's going to be it for tonight. I can design these casings tomorrow / before I install them. It won't take me long, and won't take me even less time to print them for the most part. So this will be good for now. Tempted to hot glue this splice over here, and then just get rid of the tape. I don't know. I think that might be better. I had to solder new pins on this. I'm just gonna bridge these. Fuck it. If I need to get back into it, then I'll have a little bit of a headache, but whatever. If I have to get back into it, that's what X-Acto knives are for. fucking, whoopsie, much stronger. Much stronger. Alright, well, that's it. Just plug it in. Confirm that it's all fixed. Maybe might have messed up the one end. It might just be green. We'll see. Permanently. Yeah, looks like this one might be a little goofered. Interesting. Yeah, I just repaired this one. Why didn't... Wonder what happened. Did he chew on it? I guess he chewed on it. He only chewed on the end. That's interesting. Alright, well, let's look at this quick, actually. So this end is still green, and I just pulled the hot glue I put on there off. This looks all connected. So what happened here? Here you can see where he chewed on it. Chewed up. But I'm not sure why that would make it all green. I might be able to snip it. These look correctly. These look soldered. Part of me just wants to snip the whole end off here where he chewed on this and just see if it goes white, but it may not. They might have shorted. If it shorted, then it could have actually destroyed the LEDs. Let's see. Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem to be a shorting problem. You can see that this is just green, though. That's a shame. Alright. Well, let me try, just for craps. I'm just going to try to cut this last bit off. Where he chewed on it. It shouldn't make a difference. Oh, it did make a difference. Oops. Well, maybe I can fix that in another one once I understand better what's happening. Alright guys, well, this was fun. Kind of and landed on a low note here, but it is what it is. Alright, let's see. Alright, thanks guys. Have a good one.